Now you're hurling. Lorna Porca with Tomás McCarthy on WLR.
Thanks to PwC Waterford.
Puck out, won well by Seamus Prendergast. Gone inside the 65. Now he's inside the 40. Sends a lovely ball across to Malumphey. He's gone through the centre. What can he do with it? Gives it out to Flinner. Inside the 20. Takes a shot. Oh, brilliant. This is goal! Saved by Murray. But O'Kelly bangs it in the back of the net. It was a big Dan. It's Dan as the man once again. A rasper from Flinner. Saved by Murray. And Dan the man Shanahan, as he has done so many times before, rattles the net there. I thought it was his cousin, but Dan held out the jersey and ran to the Waterford supporters who are dancing with joy. 14 points to 12.
Hard to know what they're going to do, but it looks like it's going to be a tight finish whatever which way.
Fresh legs could be vital. Puck out by Murray. Waterford lead 114-112. Brick keeps it in play. Great play by Brick to Malumphey's midfield part. Brick wins it back. Great bit of skill by the Brick. The ARB man steadies himself. Sends the ball across. Looking for Big Dan. Has Dan onto it. He leaves it for Murray. What's Dan doing? He's gone inside his marker. Takes his shot. Oh, it's a goal! Number 2 for Jan. The man! Into the line and he goes. He put out his hand like an airplane, ready to take off, and who would blame him? Moving house yesterday. He moved the Limerick defence there and really steadied himself. Was going to blast it. Murray is good on the blast, but he's not good when it's along the ground. Good thinking by Dan. Super score 2-14-112. Well played, Dan. And we've just seconds left of normal time from the puck out. Murray goes high with the red helmet, trying to get onto another man with the red helmet, Seamus Prendergast, and Seamus wins it. Good play by the Ardmore man. His Uncle Jay is a happy man as he gets it to Dan Shannon. Got inside the 20. Takes a shot. Number 3 for Dan the man Shanahan. And is that man happy? His dad Brian and Mum Joe and his aunts and all belong to him, are a hurling family. But who would believe we'd have a goal getter like this? 25 million for Torres during the week. How much is Dan Shanahan worth, Fergal?
In hurling terms, he's worth at least 25 million.
To me, he's priceless. He's a goal getter. 3-17-114. Aidan Carney. Great play again by Ringo. The referee, it's all over. It's all over, and Waterford are Munster champions. 3-17-114. We've captured our power title since 02. And now we've captured our 8th Munster title. It may be a Munster final, but my God, the excitement of the supporters tells its own story.
Well, yes, Dan Shanahan was the match winner in the 2007 Munster final against Limerick with 3-3 in Semple Stadium. And delighted to say that the former hurler of the year joins me on the line now. And Dan, when you think back on that season, was that Waterford team at the peak of his powers in 07?
Yeah, I would think so, Tomás. We would have been together a good while as a team. Like, we would have known each other's games. Us personally, ourselves, would have been great friends on and off the field. So it was really having won in 0-4, maybe get to the Munster final, winning in 2, losing in 3, and winning in 4 again. So we were together a good while. So I think the league win against Kilkenny really set us up going into that year, Tomás, to be honest with you. To win the league title, we hadn't won it in a long time. Against the Cats in Thurles was one of the best days again for Waterford hurling, and really set us on the way for 2007 and the start of that year.
And on a personal note, Dan, you got 8-12 from play in that championship, following on from your All-Stars in 04 and 06. Why did it all come together for yourself during that period, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question, Tomás. I often ask the question myself, why didn't it happen earlier for me?
Yeah.
I would have been around the scene for a long time, like since 98, 96 to 98. That's that kind of year I started. And you'd wonder why I had a good few years in 98, 99, maybe 2000 I got injured a bit. But again, when Justin came in, I wasn't up to the fitness levels that was required. Suffered 1 or 2 injuries in them years. And I think when Jerry Fitzpatrick came in 04 for me personally, it really changed what the professionalism he brought to it. The stuff off the field, in gym work, stuff that I mightn't have been doing for me personally, really set me on the way to Mars. Like, you often went to gyms in Clonadian at the time. You go in there, you meet one of your best friends, you just wouldn't say anything. You'd be in the zone, you'd be doing the stuff, your programs you're meant to be doing. Obviously you train hard during the winter in the gyms because of that. You have to reap the rewards during the summer, and that for me really set it up. And the belief Justin showed in me, I think, from 04 on. I had a great league campaign too, Tomás, to be honest with you. We got beaten in 04. It would have came on from there, I think Jerry coming on there really set us up for the 3 or 4 or 5 years he was there involved.
Yeah, did he have a big impact on your career, Dan, when he came on board in 04 under Justin?
Definitely, Tomás. I couldn't speak highly of the man, and to this day I still can't speak highly of the man, and he's still doing the same thing to this day, Tomás. He's been with some fantastic teams over the last number of years, and so for me personally, he really set me on the way. But he set a lot of us on the way too, Tomas. He put in a bit of discipline into the side where you had to. Jerry knew by looking at you, Tomas, that like whether you were doing your gym work or not, like he just knew by the shape you were in, like in your gear, that he knew you were doing the work off the field, like and he could see that, and you could see that in our game, Tomas, in a lot of the games or the previous years when Jerry came in 4, 5, and our fitness levels are really, really good. So they were, and that was down to Jerry. Our hurling was very crisp, and that was down to Justin. It didn't happen overnight. It happened from when Justin came in 0-2, and we really got together from then on in,
And like any good goal scorer, then you found yourself in the right place at the right time so often. How did you find yourself in those goal scoring positions, we'll say, between 04 and 07? Yeah,
it's a good point, Tomas. I was reading what Paul Flynn said there, and released in the paper that that I used to always have a way of ghosting in there, Tomas. And I think I was a firm believer, Tomas, that and I often did in 0-4 against Clare. One of the brick had a shot, he came off the post, and I was around the goal there. So even if we looked at some of the clips, Tomas, that lads would have scored, I was still inside in the square, looking for that break off the post, off the save, off the keeper. I always made a run towards the goal, Tomas, whether it worked. Sometimes it did, Tomas, and sometimes it didn't. And it worked a lot for me in my career, to be honest. If most of the goals I got were around the square, so they were, and being around there, and the timing of the run, and that came down to your fitness levels and the belief that you had in yourself. I also had John Milan behind me, Tomas. So when he'd move out the field, they could automatically move in. We had an understanding there, and you had good delivery of the balls in with Tony and Kelly and Ken and all the boys. So it was worth the hard running in the winter, Tomas, to get their own goals here for the summer, because you never know what breaks you get off the boys, especially Seamus Pender and balls off John Milan there. You get the breaking balls off him. If you're Stephen Malumpi as well, was excellent to win a breaking ball to leave off the pass to you. And to make the runs and have the fitness levels to be around the goal, I suppose, it was something I always did, even to this day, Tomas. I always encourage people to take the chance, because it mightn't come off, but one day it will come off, so, and I always take the chance, and I took a few chances in my time, Tomas.
You sure did. And you mentioned the league title that you won, Dan, early in 07, you beat Tipperary, Cork and Kilkenny in the knockout stages to win that title. Was that a big confidence booster at the time?
Oh, definitely, Tomas. It was an unbelievable booster. We hadn't won a league in a long time, Tomas, and when you win, the league is all about, I suppose, getting players and trying to find players for the championship, Tomas. But when you get to a quarter final, semi final, you want to win it. When you get to the final, you definitely want to win it. And the way we played that day, we really played as a team that day. Above and Torres against Kilkenny. You can see the supporters again when we beat Kilkenny. We wouldn't have beaten Kilkenny often, Tomas, in big games, whether it was a challenge game or opening of a pitch, Tomas, or anything like that. So to beat them in the league final was beat, and they didn't like it, but it really set us up for the year, so it did, Tomas, to be honest with you. And it got us going, because it was easier to go back training in for the championship, Tomas, and you went back to your clubs for a couple of weeks. You went to war. Next week we came back in. We focused on the Munster Championship then.
Yeah, and you came into the Munster semi-final then against Cork, Dan, and they were without Donal Cusack, Dermot O'Sullivan, Sean O'Halpine, who were all suspended after the Semplegate incident against Clare. Did you feel a little bit of pressure coming into that game, like you would have been favourites with Cork missing those 3 big players?
I think, yeah, it would have, Tomas, but I think the night before it was decided. But I think Justin and the management team would have had us prepared for having the 3 boys playing. If you know what I'm saying to you, we would have been. I was preparing to mark Sean O that day. You know what I'm saying to you? So it would have. We didn't take our eye off the ball. We left the CCCC do their job, and we just focused on what we had to do. I think it did put us under pressure a small bit, Tomas, when Cork were missing 3 massive players, a goalie, number 3, and one of the three the best hurlers Cork probably ever produced, and it put us under pressure a bit. People were saying off the field that we should automatically win this because they were missing the 3 boys, but we knew going into that game, Tomas, it was going to be tougher to win. We never did favouritism very well in Waterford, to be honest with you, and we were favourites going into that game, but I think we really performed that day against Tomas. We got goals. We had some great goal getters, Tomas, in our forward line. Not only myself, but we Kelly, Milan, Flynn, Pendergast. We could all get goals, Tomas, and that was key for winning that game that day.
Yeah, was it one of the craziest games you're ever involved with, Dan? It finished up 5-15 to 3-18, and Cork hit the crossbar with the last play of the game as well, so it was really end-to-end stuff.
It was, Tomas. Usual Cork and Waterford game, I suppose, Tomas. People say if Sullivan Cusack wasn't goal, I don't think he would have stopped any of the goals. There were such good goals that day, Tomas. But if the Rock was full back, maybe the breaks wouldn't. We mightn't have got 1 or 2 goals that we did get around square that day to Moss. But look, that wasn't our fault. Like, you know, that was a simple gating, and that they had to take that in the chin. But it was a strange game to Moss to be scoring 5 goals in the championship, like, you know, in a Munster semi-final. But again, we just went out there. We knew we had the manpower, the belief in each other to win the game, like, and we did to Moss, thank God.
Yeah, and Limerick came out the other side of the draw in Munster after that trilogy with Tipperary, and it was a pretty miserable day in Semple Stadium. Dan, was that a little bit of a concern, the conditions that were present that day? It
would have been to Moss. Personally, I didn't like playing in the rain, if I'm being honest with you. Like, you know, even for a big man, like, you know, that I always loved the ground. To Moss, the harder the better, the faster the ball, the better, to be honest with you. Like, but again, it was one of those days that we were fully focused on Tomas. Some days you just go, you're going to play. It's the same for both teams. We would have parked it, so we would have, like, you know, our focus was to win the game, Tomas. And whether the sun was shining or the rain was falling, which it was a bit that day, like, you know, but it didn't take away from the atmosphere of the crowd. Tomas was unbelievable, like, in that day, like, you know, almost a full house in Thurles in the Munster final day. It's stuff you dream of, Tomas. And you know, going into that game, Limerick had a massive 3 games against Tipperary, like, you know, and I think they were favourites going into the game, actually, Tomas, after the 3 games against Tip. So we were underdogs going into Tomas, but we knew, again, with the players we had, Tomas, that, you know, we were as good as anyone on our day if we got a good start. So, like, you know.
Yeah, and you won that game by 9 points in the end, Dan, 3-17, 1-14, but was it a lot closer than the scoreline suggests?
Definitely, Tomas, and people have, like, you know, TG Carr has shown games, and people, if they show this game again, to study the first 10 minutes of that game. Limerick had 2 goal chances, Tomas. Barry Foley had one, he missed the pick up, and Clinton made a great save and half a hook off big Brian Bailey full forward in the first 5 minutes of that game, Tomas. And if they got them 2 goals, who would have known, Tomas, what would have happened? Like, you know, but again, you know, it was they got a goal after that straight away. Personally, I thought it was in the square, so it was, but it was what it was, like, you know, but again, it was point for point that day, Tomas. Like, you know, there were some fantastic scores got that day, Tomas, and I suppose, like, you know, we got goals, I suppose, that day, Tomas. We got 3, I think they only got 1, you know, so his goals in matches is the key, I suppose. But again, it was a tough game, Tomas, tough to play. Limerick are a dogged team, Tomas, like, you know, and they were really up for the battle that day.
And can you talk us through your 3 goals, Dan? Limerick were a point up with 20 minutes left before he got the first one.
Yeah, the first goal, Tomas, came off, again, around the goal there, as we said earlier, Tomas, that Flynn took a shot and your man made an unbelievable save, Tomas. Like, and it felt to me, and I would have judged Tomas where I was, just on the edge of the square. I wouldn't have been in the square. Some people might have took a foot into the square and be caught for square ball, but, you know, when Flynn took the shot, I was outside the square and I just pulled. And some days, Tomas, I'd be honest with you, you have your looks, like, you know, for Brian Murray to make such a save off Flynn and a fall to your feet, all I had to do, Tomas, was pull, like, you know, and it really got us going, Tomas, again. So, and the second goal, Tomas, was unbelievable work from the back, delivered to the brick, and his crossfield ball, Tomas, was unbelievable. If you look at him, the brick that he had to look up, he gave a diagonal ball across, and I just happened to flick it up, really off my right hand side, Tomas, with the wet day, as you said, and hit it off the ground, and it skidded under Brian Murray, nothing else. And that's the most important goal I scored in a long time, because it's just the timing of the second goal, Tomas, and, you know, there wasn't much in it at the time. And the third goal, Tomas, I suppose the game was practically over, like, you know, and Seamus Pender again could have went for his score, Tomas. He got his head up. There was no one within 20 yards to me, Tomas, and I just thought, to be honest, you're a crowd pleaser, like, you know, when you're going 1-on-1 and a goalkeeper, like, you know, and you know that you're 5 or 6 points up, that you really can rattle this one, like, you know, to get 3 goals, Tomas, is unbelievable in a Munster final.
Yeah, you said afterwards, Dan, that you really enjoyed that Munster final. You soaked it all in afterwards. You went up to the presentation area where Michael Welch picked up the trophy. What was it like looking out of that sea of white and blue out in the pitch?
Unbelievable, Tomas. Again, they all talk about the 3 goals we got that day, but I think the 3 points, Tomas, I got 2 were 2 in the first half. Like, we were under pressure from Limerick, you know, and the point in the second half. Like, you know, it was just the timing of the scores that we needed them, Tomas. But looking out at that, I wasn't a big fan, Tomas, of going up on looking out. I got up straight in the chop. I used to always maybe do my own thing and go different places, but I went up that day, like, you know, because I was thinking maybe it could have been my last time I would be up there. And, you know, to be up there looking out at the wall supporters, looking at the great captain that we had, Tomas, was unbelievable. To see the brick lifting that cup, like, you know, he lifted the league trophy. Now he lifted the Munster trophy as well, like, you know, and it's phenomenal that day to see the support that we had. And, you know, we always had fantastic, and still do, Tomas. And, you know, when you're winning games like that, you'll never forget them, because the crowds that were going to matches in compared to what now, so you're at an extra 10, 20,000 people, like, you know, and it was a fantastic occasion, so it was.
Absolutely. So I'm speaking to former hurler of the year, Dan Shanahan, here on Lorna Park about the 2007 championship. And Dan, in the All-Ireland quarter-final that year, you faced Cork again in Croke Park. The first day it finished 3-16 apiece. Brian Gavin awarded a late free for Donal Cusack lying on the ball in front of the Canal in goal. And were you relieved to come away with a draw that day?
I think we were, Tomas, a bit that day. Like, you know, if people say that Cusack didn't lie on the ball, he did, Tomas. He did it. It was one of the balls, Tomas, with a goal again. It passed me out, actually. It was gone too far in to double on it, like, you know, and I think I would have, if I held my run a bit, I would have pulled and buried it. He just fled the flinner and he hit Sully there on the backside, and, like, you know, and Cusack didn't cover the ball, and I think it was the right decision to get a draw that day, Tomas, because, you know, it was in Croke Park, it was our early quarter final. We would have beaten Cork earlier in the year, so it was very hard to beat a team twice, Tomas, that you played already, like, you know, and look, we got the draw that day. We fully focused on the week after, and we got the right result again the week after, like. Yeah,
like Owen McGrath was a real super sub for you that season, then, and he had real courage to go for the goal that day when he could have tapped it over and taken the draw.
Yeah, he did, Tomas, to be honest with you, because he did have courage, to be honest, and Owen, that's the way Owen was. He was a fantastic player, like, you know, and he got very little credit. He'd always create space or take a belt or that kind of thing for you, Tomas, that he'd take 2 men out and you get the break off him like that, and he was brilliant at that, like, you know, and he had speed. But if he'd put that ball wide or Cusack had saved it, Tomas, we'd lost the game, like, you know, so he's fairly heroic, Tomas, to go for the shot, like, you know, and we got a point off it, Tomas, obviously. It was the look that we maybe needed to get the draw, like, you know, and but fair dues to Owen, he went for the joker that day, like, you know, and we just got the draw at the end of it, and Kelly put the ball over the bar, Tomas. I think we deserved the draw at the end of it.
Yeah, I think everyone felt it was a fair result, and you got a nice goal at the Hill 16 end that day, Dan, and then the second day out, Steve Malumphey set you up for 2 goals in the replay. What's your call about those?
I suppose the one thing I've always said about Stephen and the Brick and Seamus, like them fellas, Tomas, you know, they'd always come out of a ruck with the ball, and if you happen to be close to them, like, you know, you'd have a fair chance of getting the pass off them, like, you know. And I remember that it was probably one of the best strikes off my right hand side, and Stevie won the ball, hand passed it out, and I just hit in an instant. Like, you know, I was confident Tomas going into the game from previous goals I would have got, like, you know, and getting the ball off Stevie and just turning him right and finishing the way it finished, Tomas. It was a great finish, like, you know. But again, to the timing of Tomas, Cork were kind of a few points ahead at the time, and the goal was unbelievable, like, you know, above in Croke Park, like, you know. And the second goal then, Tomas, I don't know which one was that now, Tomas, but that was
I think Steve Malumphey sent it over the top and you pulled on it the first time. Yeah,
that's the one I say, Tomas, because the other ones do it. But that was the kind of what people actually was some of the goals I got, Tomas, and I thought it was one of the sweetest strikes. Like, you know, to finish from where I was out on the run into the bottom corner, like, you know. People think about the first goal, but the second goal was just as tricky when you're meeting the ball on the run, Tomas, along the ground. To be the goalkeeper, the calibre of Cusack, you know, you had to hit it well, like, you know. But it comes with all with confidence, Tomas. You're playing well, these things seem to go right for you. If I was playing poorly, Tomas, I guarantee if I pulled, I'd probably fall over myself.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, and that's being honest about it, like, you know. I was playing with confidence, you know, and I struck that year, seemed to work, Tomas. But again, I've always said to myself, I would have worked hard off the field to make the look on it, like, you know.
Yeah, like, there was great euphoria after that victory over Cork, then. It was the second time you'd beaten them that summer. Was it hard to come back down off that high to prepare for Limerick in the All-Ireland semi-final the following Sunday?
Yeah, I suppose the one thing that sticks out in my mind, the Cork game, Tomas, was Gerald was in charge of him, like, you know, and I would have been involved with Gerald for a number of years when he came into Waterford, like, you know, and to see Gerald's face and shake his hand after the game, like, you know, it was just tricky because he would really lay the foundation for us down here, Tomas, for a lot of us down here when he came in 98, 97, I think, yeah. And so he would have, like, you know, and he really set up Hurling. But again, I suppose, Tomas, they all say about the 3 weeks in a row, Tomas. We parked it straight away, Tomas, and, you know, beating Cork. Some people say that 3 weeks in a row was tough. I suppose, if I'm being honest with you, Tomas, if we'd beaten Limerick in the semi-final, they would have been saying that the 3 weeks suited us the momentum going, but we got beaten, and people would have said that the 3 weeks caught us. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Like, personally, it was. It didn't. I just think if Cork had won the game, they wouldn't play 3 weeks in a row, Tomas. And so, but that was the way it was, Tomas. Back then, I don't think it affected us. That that Limerick got a massive start, Tomas. That in the All-Ireland semi-final, we would have focused just as hard on Limerick for the All-Ireland semi-finals as we would have for the Munster final, Tomas. And I just think they got a fantastic start there. And I said it earlier, Tomas. It's always hard to beat a team twice in the 1 year, but we came back within a point that day. And I can remember hitting the crossbar post, with a good shot off my right hand side, Tomas. We went in, you never know what had happened. But again, Limerick had to look that day.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the lightning start they got down to. I think they were 10 points up after 20 minutes in the first half. Like, did you notice something beforehand, Dan, that the energy levels were maybe a bit lower than the previous 2 Sundays or anything like that?
No, I would have thought, Tomas, the energy levels were okay. I would have thought that Limerick really rattled us, Tomas. They really came out physically, came at us on and off the ball, and I can remember my jersey being ripped off me back by Lucy. One or two occasions, and the ball was down the other end. But that was the way it was, Tomas. They would have gave us extra attention. So they would, after being beaten in the Munster final, they would have, getting 3 goals, you're going to get extra attention, and did I get it that day? But again, it was one of my better games, Tomas. I happened to score 4 points that one, and with a bit of luck, I would have got 1-4. You never know what would have happened. But again, we just gave them too much of a start, Tomas, when we woke up. That we believed that we could, but every time we came back at them, Tomas, they seemed to get a go up and get a goal, and it really, really, really hurt us. But again, we just showed the courage to keep coming back, and we just ran out of luck that day, Tomas, and I think Limerick barely deserved it, that day.
Yeah, when you think back on that season now, Dan, would you reflect on it as a missed opportunity in terms of winning All Ireland?
Yeah, I would have, Tomas. Again, but if we happened to get over Limerick, we would have been playing, an unbelievable Kilkenny team again. But I would love to have opportunity to have played Kilkenny again in our Ireland final with Justin in charge of us. I would have loved to know what Justin would have done, Tomas, if we happened to get over Limerick or in any semi-final. Having said that over the years, that what preparation he would have done going into the Ireland final, because he was a very, very shrewd manager, Tomas, and very good at picking up fellas and mark fellas and getting lads right for big games, and I would love the opportunity to have seen what Justin done with myself and the forwards, if we happened to get over Limerick, but we didn't. So that's the disappointment side of it, Tomas, that we didn't get to the final and see what Justin ourselves would have done as a team, because we had beaten Kilkenny in the league final, and it would have been interesting, Tomas, if we got there. We all know what Kilkenny did to Limerick that year as well, and what they did to us the year after. But it's just that being beaten in the semi-final. I think Donny Ryan got 2 goals at Tomas, and he wasn't playing all year. So that's just look the Limerick had, and and we didn't have. But I would love the opportunity under Justin to get to Ireland final to see what tactics would have come up with and what his ideas would have been, Tomas, to be honest with you.
And Dan, you ended 2007 as Hurler of the Year. Does that award still take pride of place at home?
Yeah, but my mother's, Tomas, not in my place, to be honest.
Right.
My mother has seems to have all the awards, Tomas, that she keeps the dust off, and if they're in my place, they'd be all dusty. But it's great, Tomas, to I suppose, would I swap them all, Tomas, to get an Ireland medal? You're damn right I would, but to get individual awards, Tomas, is unbelievable. I always accepted my individual awards as part of my teammates, because every goal I got, I had to be at the end of a ball, whether it was Stephen Malumpi, whether it was Tony Brown, whether it was Owen Kelly, whether it was Clinton making a save or Declan Pinder making that hook. It wasn't about Dan Shanahan that year, Tomas, it was about us, and I would have accepted my awards, Tomas, or any award I got on behalf of my teammates. And to be involved with so many great people, Tomas, that people say to me that we're one of the best teams never to win in All Ireland. But by God, we died trying, Tomas. We did everything we could to win one, and we met teams that were just better than us, and we can really bring that to our graves, that we gave it everything we had in the years that Justin was there, Davy was there, that we tried everything we could, and it just didn't happen. But again, Tomas, to win them awards, Tomas, was unbelievable. For a man that comes from Lismore, small club in West Waterford, to be up there with the Henry Shefflins and then fellas getting awards, so it was nice. But I would have accepted it on behalf of teammates, Tomas, to be honest with you.
Yeah, very well said, Dan. And looking at the weather we've had kind of the past couple of weeks, Dan, it's like a championship weather looking out at it. But how optimistic now would you be that we'll see inter-county action at all in 2020?
Yeah, it's going to be very hard, Tomas. It's extremely hard on players. The most important thing, Tomas, and can't stress enough, is to get this thing out of the way, the Corona-19 out of the way, and get everything back to normal as quick as possible. Like, no matter how long it takes, Tomas, Hurling, and I think the GA will survive, to be honest with you. Like, it's just it's tough, Tomas, because what are inter-county lads doing? How do they keep motivated? They have no date, Tomas, for a date the way they can go back playing, or so they have. Even the club player, Tomas, to be honest with you, I'm involved in this more, and credit to lads that don't own their own individual programs like everyone else, I suppose, in their clubs are doing. But it's so tricky to go on, Tomas, having no dates or nothing. But for the inter-county lads, Tomas, I'd say, with the money that's involved in the GA through sponsorship and TV rights, they might have to play some of the games behind closed doors. But I can see the club going ahead first, Tomas, because it wouldn't be as big as crowds go to the club games. So please God, maybe later on in the year that'll be prioritised and get done. But for the inter-county, it's going to be hard to see anything happening, Tomas. You're going in July, August. September's a bit away yet, Tomas. What kind of championship is going to be, etc., etc. But I think the inter-county players, all they want to know is management. Give us a good date that you might be looking forward to, that they can go in and work at and look forward to,
Yeah, well, would you be in favour of playing inter-county matches behind closed doors, Dan, if that was the only option available?
I would, Tomas. Yeah, I would, Tomas, because I think, if Waterford drew Cork, Tomas, and knockouts, you will get more than, to get 10,000 people at least there, Tomas, and you can't go anywhere over 2,000, so it's going to be very tricky, Tomas, to do this, and how they're going to do it, I don't know, but I love to see the championship being run, Tomas, because it's another year on to another lads. Kevin Moran is such an age now. Next year, if there's no championship this year, he's a year older. Shane Fives, off the top of my head, and it's probably in every county in Mayo. Lee Keegan is 31 or 32. So will they keep going for another year if there's no championship this year? If you know what I'm saying to you. So I think it's important that they can try and finish the year this year as best they can, whether it's knockout and you get a second opportunity or stuff like that. I think they should scrap the leagues, Tomas, to be honest with you, and just focus on the championship and see can they finish the championship. But again, I'm not at the GA tables, Tomas, at Bunkport Park, so I leave it to the experts that are up there, but it's to be great for people even to watch the games on television, Tomas, to be something to get them through the summer,
Absolutely, and just a final one for you, Dan. You're involved as coach to the Waterford Camogie team under Fergal O'Brien at the moment. What advice are you giving to the players at this present time? Yeah,
obviously, Tomas, to look after themselves, it's the first priority on it comes from me to always look after themselves and the older people involved with them, their mum and dad, their grandparents, stuff like that. But again, to their credit, Tomas, that Kenny Murphy is our physical man and physio. He's given the girls programs to do, Tomas, individually, running, that kind of stuff, whether it's road running or something like that, Tomas, anything like that, hill running, if they can get to a hill, weights at home, that kind of stuff, Tomas. And to their credit, Tomas, they've been unbelievable. We watched that group, Tomas, they put up what they've done, and we're getting an unbelievable response, Tomas. I say they're getting bored of doing it now, Tomas. They love to be hitting ball with each other. But again, we just can't at the moment. So again, they're doing their programs to their best ability, Tomas, and we can't ask for any more than that. They're giving us a massive response, doing their programs, and please God, maybe in a couple of months' time or whenever it is, Tomas, that I think the Camogie is different from the GA, Tomas. That they make their own decisions on different things, so maybe that will become knockout, and I don't know. But again, the Waterford ladies, Tomas, are doing their own programs, and I have to give them credit because it's tough mentally to do that when you're not mixing with the girls, but again, they're doing it. We acknowledge that as a management.
Well, Dan, thanks a million for your time this evening. Much appreciated. Great to hear your memories of 2007. I'm sure our listeners would have enjoyed that, and they will catch up with you again very soon.
Thanks, Tomas, very much. My pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Breaking ball and sheer pressure gives Waterford the advantage. There's a chance for Dan the Man. What a goal! Beautiful movement, beautiful strike, and it's the Lismore star. There was a choice here. Look at this. Waterford breaking down the Cork defence. Take your chance. John Milan had to get out of the way, and Dan the Man flashed it past Anthony Nash. This one is dropping in. There's a touch. It goes all the way back. A chance for Owen Kelly. Paul Flynn blocked. Comes back outside for his Dan Shanahan. Another shot. Another goal. 4 goals for Waterford. It's his second, number 2 for Dan the Man. Waterford 4-8, Cork 2-8. It's a thriller in Semple Stadium. We've seen some great games, but what a first half of action. Cork defence was a little bit lax here. First it was blocked down, came back out to Dan Shanahan. He hit a cracker. Absolutely unstoppable. Not Donald, not Brendan Cummins, not Davy Fitz. Nobody could stop it.
Puck out, won well by Seamus Prendergast. Gone inside the 65. Now he's inside the 40. Sends a lovely ball across to Malumphey. He's gone through the centre. What can he do? Gives it out to Flinner. Inside the 20. Takes a shot. Oh, Prendergast is goal! Saved by Murray. But O'Kelly bangs it in the back of the net. It was a big Dan. It's Dan as the man once again. A rasper from Flinner. Saved by Murray. And Dan the man Shanahan, as he has done so many times before, rattles the net there. I thought it was his cousin, but Dan held out the jersey and ran to the wall for supporters who are dancing with joy. 14 points to 12.
Hard to know what they're going to do, but it looks like it's going to be a tight finish, whatever which way.
Fresh legs could be vital. Puck out by Murray. Waterford lead 114-112. Brick keeps it in play. Great play by Brick to Malumphey's midfield partner. Brick wins it back. Great bit of skill by the Brick. The ARB man steadies himself. Sends the ball across. Looking for Big Dan. Has Dan onto it. He leaves it for Murray. What's Dan doing? He's gone inside his marker. Takes his shot. Oh, it's a goal! Number 2 for Shan. The man! Into the Caline and he goes. He put out his hand like an airplane, ready to take off, and who would blame him? Moving house yesterday, he moved the Limerick defence there and really steadied himself. Was going to blast it. Murray is good on the blast, but he's not going. It's along the ground. Good thinking by Dan. Super score 2-14-112. Well played, Dan. And we've just seconds left of normal time from the puck out. Murray goes high with the red helmet, trying to get onto another man with the red helmet, Seamus Prendergast, and Seamus wins it. Good play by the Ardmore, and his Uncle Jay is a happy man as he gets it to Dan Shannon. Got inside the 20. Takes a shot. Number 3 for Dan the man Shanahan. And is that man happy? He's Dad Brian and Mum Joe and his aunts and all belong to him, or a hurling family. But who would believe we'd have a goal getter like this? 25 million for Torres during the week. How much is Dan Shanahan worth, Fergal?
In hurling terms, he's worth at least 25 million.
To me, he's priceless. He's a goal getter. 3-17-114.
Tony Brown needs a little bit of time to control the slither. Gives it long. John Milan is up there. So too is Dan Shanahan. Chance of a goal, and he sneaks it inside. Donald O'Cusick's post. He really is experiencing a rich vein of form, and the Daishies celebrate on Hill 16 and around this wonderful arena. A long ball into Dan Shanahan. Look at the skill here as he sneaked it past one of the best goalkeepers in Ireland, Donald O'Cusick.
Yeah, Marty, look at the room in behind. I was just talking about it a minute ago. All out the field and 40 yards of space. Long ball by Brown over the top, and that's what Dan does best. He drifts in there, very hard to pick him up, and a great finish.
Ryan Murphy comes out to try and gather. Shane Walsh is there. So too is Stephen Malumphey. Flicking it inside for Dan Shannon. Takes a shot. What a goal. He is unstoppable at the moment. One ball, one chance, one shot, one goal. Over and out. The puck out is a quick one. Comes down for his Tony Brown. Picked up by Owen Callan. And again the tempo seems to have stepped up as Waterford go in pursuit of more scores. It's down the man, takes a shot. It's in the back of the net. He's been quiet since the 10th minute of the first half. We thought at times maybe he had gone home, but we should have known better. The ball came in from Malumphey. Here comes Dan the man, breaking inside, pulled it at first time, and not the best goalkeeper in Ireland, Donald O'Cusick, could hardly see it. 2-goal Dan.
Now you're hurling. Lorna Porca with Tomás McCarthy on WLR.
Thanks to PwC Waterford.